Because I'm quite a small female and you're quite big, I'm going to place you in handcuffs because you're an unknown risk to me, okay? So
right, does it have to be a male? You're not stopping recording?
No.
In this episode, Free Times Audits is positioned on a public pavement outside a police station, quietly filming police vehicles as they enter and exit what should be a routine and uneventful act. Instead, officers emerge and immediately shift away from standard policing. Focus is not placed on conduct or any genuine threat, but instead on his clothing. A balaclava is treated as justification without real grounds and becomes the reason for detaining and searching him. The irony is that this escalation of overreach does not end there. It later results in a civil claim that cost the police financially for actions that should never have taken place.
Is it you filming today?
Well, at the minute, them.
Him? Just
No, not him. The gatehouse.
Oh, the gatehouse?
Yeah, because I was just walking up and down taking pictures.
Yeah.
I was actually hoping to get a police car with the blue lights coming out.
Yeah.
I've got that now, but you spoilt my shot anyway.
Okay.
And the gentleman come out and committed a public 5, section 5 public order offence.
Okay, what happened?
He said I'm not allowed to film.
Yeah.
And I explained to him I'm on a public road, so I can film.
Yeah.
And he called me an effing idiot, and it's all on film.
Right, okay. The gentleman in the...
Yeah, he had a security coat on with a big beard.
Right, okay. And you've got that on film?
I have, yeah.
Okay. What, are you wanting us to do anything about that? Were you planning on reporting it, or...?
I've just reported it to you, haven't I?
Right. At the moment, obviously, I'll deal with what you've just reported to me. Okay,
yep.
We'll take that into consideration. But just, we've had a report before anything of that has come through that there's been a male walking around with a balaclava on. Okay?
Not a balaclava.
Okay, that's the report we've had. Okay,
right.
Because you are matching that description,
yep.
I'm detaining you for a stop search under section 1 of PACE. Okay.
Really?
Based on the fact that that sort of equipment. Okay.
So what's your reasonable grounds?
My grounds are
that I'm wearing a balaclava, which isn't a balaclava.
Okay. You match the description.
They move in on him straight away and treat the situation as if wrongdoing has already been established. The interaction escalates the moment he refuses to comply without question. Section 1 of PACE is cited, but not on the basis of behavior or any clear intelligence. Rather, it is triggered purely by appearance. The reasoning effectively reduces to face covering equals suspicion, which replaces lawful grounds with assumption. That is not how stop and search powers are meant to operate. They are not a blanket permission to detain people on instinct or precaution. There must be a specific link to suspected items and an objective basis for the search. In this case, the process is inverted, with detention coming first and justification expected to follow. That reversal is exactly why the stop cannot withstand proper scrutiny, not because it was poorly executed, but because the legal threshold was never properly met.
Looking at offences such as theft, going equipped, that sort of thing.
Okay.
That sort of equipment can be used for that. Okay.
Right, so what are you looking for then, particularly?
So any further equipment that could be used in the course of conducting an offence such as theft or going equipped, okay?
All right.
So because
you do realise you'll get a civil claim over this?
Okay, that's fine,
yeah.
Yeah. Right, because I'm quite a small female and you're quite big, I'm going to place you in handcuffs because you're an unknown risk to me, okay? So
right, does it have to be a male? You're not stopping recording?
No.
Handcuffs on by anybody.
Yeah.
What are you doing holding the handcuffs?
I'm just doing like that, holding a handcuff. I need an explanation.
Well, it does. Look at your nails, you nearly scratched me with them.
Used as a weapon, can't they?
Can they?
So
what, when I'm in handcuffs?
Yes.
I can assure you now I'm going to cooperate. I don't agree to the search and I don't consent to the search, I'll make that clear.
You don't have to consent.
Agree to it, okay? I've detained you in section 1 case, you don't have to agree to it, it's
Yeah,
not a
no.
voluntary thing, okay? Right, will you want a copy of the stop search record?
Yes, I will.
Sorry, can you hold them for me
Yeah,
while
yeah.
I just... Sorry.
Honestly, I'm not...
The justification keeps shifting without ever becoming specific, moving from vague suspicion to claims about possible theft without any clear offense, report, or solid intelligence. That turns the stop into speculation rather than a lawful use of Section 1 PACE, which requires objective grounds, not general assumptions or fishing for evidence. When handcuffs are applied, the reasoning again drifts away from behavior and focuses instead on size and uncertainty, describing him as an unknown risk despite calm and compliance. That kind of justification isn't a proper risk assessment. It replaces evidence with convenience, using restraint to cover weak grounds rather than respond to an actual threat.
In a public place with a face covering, that's the offence.
Right. What's your name, sorry, just so I can...
I don't give my name.
Okay. So I need it to complete the form, and also if you want to process your complaint about the public order thing, I'll need your details anyway.
Right. You can just call me FT.
FT, okay. I'm going to need more than that if you want me to deal with that complaint.
No.
Because I can't deal with that.
So you don't want to make a complaint about the Section 5 public order offence? Because you would need to give your details as a victim.
Alright, so if there's a murder and the person's dead, how do they make a complaint? Do they give their name? I don't think so.
That's quite a different situation.
Is it?
And we generally identify.
Right, we're getting on with the search. We've got better things to do than stand here talking around to you muppets.
Well, you didn't have much better things to do because you were standing here filming, weren't you?
You have the grounds to search, explain to you and everything.
Well, yeah, apparently they're looking for, what is it you're looking for? Crowbars?
Can be used in the
The Section 5 issue is effectively reversed here. Early on, 3 times audits highlights that a member of the public approaches him and uses abusive language, which is the conduct that could potentially engage public order legislation. That is initially not acted upon. Later, however, Section 5 is reintroduced in a way that points back at him instead. Officers then shift focus to obtaining his name, suggesting the complaint cannot progress without it, as though making a report converts the complainant into a subject of suspicion. That is not how the process is meant to function. Reporting an incident does not remove your right to anonymity or require immediate disclosure of personal details on demand. The change in tone is telling, as Section 5 only becomes central once frustration sets in and leverage is needed. The result is a reframing where the complainant becomes the focus, while the original conduct fades into the background.
It's the top cuff's going to come off first.
Shouldn't have been put on really, should it?
When you're detained for a search, it's the officer's choice whether to put you in handcuffs, but we are legally allowed to do so.
We'll see. So you can witness the markings on my hand?
Yep.
I'll go towards the... Thank you. 1, 2, 3, 4 police cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 police officers. Are we all constables? No detectives here, is there? No inspectors. Couldn't detect anything, could they? What I might do later, I might film all these registrations in here as well. Alright. I'll probably just put them on the internet.
What are you going to do that for?
Because I like taking videos and putting them on the internet.
People's registrations of the vehicle.
It's not illegal though, is it?
You can film wherever you want.
Exactly.
The search ends exactly as it began, with nothing found. Once the handcuffs are removed, the visible marks on his wrists are hard to ignore, showing pressure that goes beyond what would be expected from brief or proportionate restraint. That changes how the use of force is viewed, shifting it away from safety and closer to something that feels punitive rather than necessary. Then the situation is undercut by a simple contradiction. When he asks whether filming police vehicles is illegal, the officer responds that he can film whatever he wants. That single statement undermines the entire sequence that led up to it. If the filming is lawful at the end, it raises obvious questions about the grounds for the earlier detention, search, and use of cuffs. What remains is not uncertainty, but a clear example of how quickly rights can be overridden when lawful activity is treated as suspicion.
So why'd you wear the thin blue line badge then? Part of the gang? Do you know more people, the public, have died in police custody in the last 30 years than police officers have died on active duty in the last 100 years. Where's your badge for that? Silence. Feel proud today? Done a good job today? Go home and tell the children.
I advise you that your actions could be construed as hostile reconnaissance towards terrorism.
What? I just said you've done a good job today.
Police personal vehicles.
Hostile.
For the purpose of putting them on
Terrorism.
for whatever reason that might
Oh,
be.
go on, keep digging that hole.
It's hostile reconnaissance for terrorism offences.
Hostile. If I was hostile reconnaissance, I wouldn't be overt, would I?
No,
I'd be
you don't understand
covert.
what hostile reconnaissance means. It's all right.
You're allowed to do reconnaissance.
You're not
If I
allowed
wanted to, I could map all this ground.
It could be construed as committing hostile reconnaissance for terrorism offences. I'm just
Right.
making you aware
Right,
of
okay,
that.
let me make you aware of this. If you think I'm a terrorist, you should leave me alone and contact the anti-terrorism squad. Because if you thought I was a terrorist, you wouldn't all come up to me like this.
When the officer begins describing his filming as hostile in the context of terrorism legislation, it escalates the justification in a way that doesn't align with the facts. Recording police vehicles and sharing footage online is a common activity, and on its own, isn't an indicator of terrorism. There's no reference to intelligence, threat behavior, or hostile intent, just a camera and officers reacting to being observed. Framing it through terrorism language doesn't strengthen the reasoning. It weakens it by stretching the concept beyond its proper meaning. Free Time's audit's response cuts through that by pointing out the obvious gap. If there is a genuine terrorism concern, it would require proper escalation to specialist units. The fact that nothing follows beyond the label itself suggests the term is being used loosely rather than meaningfully, and that undermines the credibility of the stop as a whole.
What I said was, your actions can be construed as hostile reconnaissance.
I've had enough of you now, off your pop.
offences.
Not talking to you anymore. Talk rubbish.
We can be here just as much as you can be here.
Oh, yeah, I know you can. But I can tell you to off your pop. Anybody filming?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, you're supposed to tell me at the first available opportunity.
Am I?
As part of your policy. You don't even know your own policy. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Can you just inform him that if he swears at me again, I will press charges?
You're watching too much American TV, you don't press charges.
Alright, then I'll file a claim.
You can make a claim.
Do you want your coffee?
Yes, I do.
There you go. Right, he's having a word with him, okay? And we'll leave you to it. But
Should have left me to it in the first place.
no, we had grounds to stop and speak to you instead.
I don't think you did.
Okay, that's fine. Be mindful of what my colleagues just said to you, okay?
What, that I'm a terrorist? If you thought I was a terrorist, you should act on it now. Off your pop. Off your pop. Off your pop. See you later.
Alright, so you stand here all day.
Alright, cool. Yeah, see? Knew you'd leave first.
I'll bid you.
Wait, are you going to the shop to buy some polish for your boots? Not seeing a bit of...
By the time the officers walked away, the outcome was already shaped by assumption rather than evidence. From the start, Free Time's audits was treated less as someone exercising a lawful right and more as a problem to manage, with filming interpreted through suspicion instead of context. Nothing found in the search didn't prompt reflection. It simply ended the encounter. What stands out is how routine the escalation felt, where clothing became suspicion and filming became intent, showing how quickly ordinary behavior can be reframed when officers are uncomfortable with being observed.